All right, my friends, I'm super excited to answer a few questions. The first thing we want to talk about when we talk about what are planetary influences that are happening is I'm going to do some fun background checks with y'all. So I'm writing a book called The Cosmic Classroom. And when we understand what's happening in the sky, one of the best things to first of all understand is why is it happening that way? Like why is when this planet goes here? And so if I can give you a little background, I'm going to show you a fun photo that was created in my book. So you see behind me, we have some different personalities. This being Brahaspati, Jupiter, this being Mercury, this being Mars, this being Venus, and that being the sun. And then we have another photo here behind me, and we have K2, headless. We have Rahu, the trickster. We have Saturn, Father Time, and then we have Venus, voluptuous Venus. I think that other one, it was Chandra Moon. I think I said Venus twice. So I'm going to pull that out so it's not a distraction. But now what we're going to do is we're going to look at what happens in the sky when all of a sudden, oop, I have to reverse this so that you can see this another way. Actually, I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to take that off because it's too confusing. Let's go back and we'll have the grahas behind me while I'm talking, and I'll do a screen share a different way. We'll just be mystical for right now. Let's screen share what's happening in the sky when we talk about planets. I'm going to change this into just a regular normal birth chart. Now, if you've never seen a birth chart, this can look really bizarre. And my sister used to say that it looked like a bingo scorecard sort of thing. First things first, and I'm going to update the time shortly here, but first things first, what I want you to notice is that you have this pile up of planets. ME stands for Mercury, MA stands for Mars, SA stands for Saturn. I don't use the outer planets like Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto, but they are here as well. Currently, well, let's see. Right now, when I did this now chart at 11 o'clock, the ascendant on the eastern horizon was Gemini. And if I change that right now and see and update it to our current time, let's see where we are. Oh, now it's Cancer as the ascendant that's on the eastern horizon. So I don't want to get confusing here. The ascendant doesn't really change anything other than your own personal chart and what's going on as it relates to your own like soft, subtle moods. All right. What the question has been is what's this forecast of what's happening right now? And when you look at when you see this planetary pileup, you have Mercury, Mars, Saturn all sitting in Pisces. And Pisces is the constellation that really is looking at the vast big picture. That's why I did this as a backdrop behind me. It's the vast, watery, big ocean of ideas. If we back up a little bit and we look at Aquarius, Aquarius is the pot bearer and it's a persona delivering information that's pouring out. If we back it up even more and you have Capricorn, the 10th sign in the zodiac is Capricorn, and it's seen as a half land, half water element animal that moves very slow but is very earthy and very grounded. So when these planets that I showed you the personalities, Venus being the way she is, Moon being the way she is, Mars being the way he is, and they go into some of these cosmic houses, if you will, is what they're called, then you have a certain type of a party going on. Think of it realistically like people. If you have five people in a frat house, it's going to feel very different than if you have five people in the Smithsonian Museum Institute in the same size square footage of a room. And you can even take the same people and they will behave differently in each of those environments. Wow, that was one of the best analogies ever. So, as a planet, it behaves differently when it goes into different houses because that's what it does. It's seen as a graha or a teacher of sorts. So this pileup of planets that's just been happening all in Uttarabhadrapada, and Uttarabhadrapada is ruled by the energy of Saturn, and it's stoic and it's grounded and it's fierce with discipline. And so Mars is sitting there too, and it's sitting next to Mercury, and they're all what we call combust. So you have a lot of conversations happening when you're trying to look at the big picture of what you really, really, really want in life, what you really, really see as a culmination of ideas that would help serve you. And because the sun just moved into Aries on April 14th, not on March 20th, as it relates to actually what's in the sky, that identity of I've got to march forward, I've got to alarm my army sergeant or military sergeant of my group and say, let's go, let's take charge. And so the sun in Mars will give that action, but all of these other planets are sitting here in the 12th house saying, wait a minute, we got to look at the big picture. So it's almost like it's an oxymoron. It's ready to take charge, but at the last minute we're looking at, did you cross your T's and dot your I's? And it is an opportunity as this window happens in certain windows, just like certain anomalies with snow years versus drought years. The universe is never here punishing us. When we can look at what is happening, it gives you an opportunity to do something else. If there's a drought, what can you do instead? If you've got a ton of snow and there's an avalanche, what can you do instead? It's how can you up level what's going on in your life? So what would be something great to do? Because if you don't know what your ascendants, moons, Venuses are, what applies to everybody, where you had really, really tenacious, vibrant, big ideas, they just did not seem like it was possible. It felt like whatever you wanted to do, deal got thrown off, deal got shut off. Journal about that right now. That's the best thing you can do. Journal. Write a letter to yourself. Write about what your idea is. Write about why you think it went off. Write about how could that be a benefit that you didn't get what you thought you wanted or that you're not getting it? How can it be a benefit that you get it next week, next month, next year? Get lost in the sea of possibility. Do not get lost in what's not happening possibly right now. So when Mercury, the chatter, the curious, the inquisitive one, the analytical one, gets in connection with Mars, take charge, don't ask questions, just take names. And Saturn saying, hold the force. We are going to be disciplined. We are going to be methodical about that. All in the house of Pisces saying, hey, loved ones, what's the big watery picture? Is this really going to serve all of us? It's a strong energy. In the next few months, we have some more strong energies happening. As I said, all of these planets, I'm going to show you a little fun chart blurb. I'm going to flip it so you can see a transit, and this is going to really bake your noodle. Because like, what just happened? This is still what originally is happening in that snapshot at the now chart. And this is, well, I'm going to start to turn the sea of time, and you'll see how these planets are moving around this snapshot right now. But in the next week, you're going to have Mercury now getting close. Now they're spread out a little bit more. And in the morning, you'll be able to see, am I saying that right? The three planets. So let's go another hour or another day. Actually, I want to go a week. What just happened? Mercury is now moved in with the sun into Aries. Why is it number one? Because Aries is the first sign in the zodiac. First sign in the zodiac. And what's going to start happening now? We get into May. This whole pileup is now going to happen in Aries. Let's go another week. Mars is now moved in, and Mars's home is in Aries. So you've got Sun, Mercury, and Mars all happening in the home of Aries, and this is by May 12th. So those intentions that I'm talking about you doing right now today, April 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, you've got a portal right now you're working with. If you don't use it, it's okay. If you don't sit in the sun and get some golden rays, it's okay. If you go stomping in the puddles on a day, it's okay. And if you don't, it's okay. But if you're looking for fun, if you're looking for enthusiasm, if you're looking for a new opportunity, if you're looking to break a pattern, interrupt a pattern, then use the planetary influences. They are here to teach you. Graha means grab hold of, give you some wisdom. So again, by then, and we've got Jupiter that's about to make a big jump from Gemini, where it's been for a year, and it's going to go into Cancer. Very different feeling from Jupiter giving you that big idea or that analytical mind of be strong with what you want. If it's not going to work in the details, then scrap it. Very Lieutenant Data from Star Trek. And once Jupiter comes into Cancer, it's considered exalted. It's considered really to tap in on your biggest ideas. And when is that going to happen? And then I'll close this out. 1st of June, I think. Yeah, literally in Colorado, it moves in on May 29th. Jupiter will move into Cancer. So set an intention. What is it that you want? What is it that you think that your heart's been longing for? You're starting to get tapped on the shoulder of this is what you want, this is what you want, this is the time to create it. So while the planets, and then look at see how they're scattered. They're not in any one house. They're not having a big party. By the end of May, early June, look at this scattering of planets. And on today's date, look at where the planets are. See how they shift, shift, shift? That's why I like this wheel, because it shows you on that overlay. And it doesn't really pertain to houses. You don't need to know because this is a now chart. So doesn't matter if you're a Libra rising or a Scorpio rising. But the planets now, as I said, you can see the now chart that's in here. That's what's happening. And this is what's going to be happening by May 29th. And if we keep going, we'll see this accordion and then we'll see this connection back in. So what's your takeaway? I want to know what your takeaway is. I'm not going to give you a takeaway. What is your takeaway from this video? And did I answer your question? And do you have a follow-up question? I'm going to take the summary of this and I'll also put that in my school platform of what's going on in the sky. All right. Thanks for the questions. I love questions. I'm sorry it took so long. There's been a lot happening. Peace, love, so much inner sparkle.